This is what Sam Shamoun tells Muslims about the Quran when he debates them.
Another man that really influenced me because he taught me how to think logically is even here on the same website. If you go to William Campbell, because he introduced, there's a chapter talking about deductive reasoning, right? And how to think logically and how to avoid the etymological fallacy or how to avoid chronological fallacy, where you read a later meaning of a word into an earlier period of time. So you can't do that. So if a word means X now, that doesn't mean it had the same meaning 300 years ago. So you cannot apply modern definitions to words in an earlier context. You have to see how those words were used at that time. He blessed me. Because the Muslims will, the Arabic means this. Well, it means this now. What did it mean at the time of Muhammad? It's because words evolve. Like even the word pig, ironically. 100 years ago, now you put it in one of the entry, a metaphorical slur, policeman, cop, right? That would be one of the definition. Was that the meaning 200 years ago? No. So words evolve. So you can't tell me because the Arabic means this now, it meant that at the time when the Quran is written. So he taught me how to think critically. Now the only problem is this guy debated Zakir Naik. And I was in the audience. And sadly, he got slaughtered by Zakir Naik, so his book was discredited.
William Campbell.
Yeah.
Wow, what an awesome example of how words change meaning over time. Thank you so much for teaching us the new definition of the word pig. I wonder what your issues are with the law enforcement that you have so much love and respect for cops. But that's besides the point. So when Muslims show him what is written in the Quran, this is the tactic he uses to discredit them. So Sam, how do you convince a Muslim that Jesus is God?
I know Muslims will get offended, but it is what it is. Jesus in John 14:6 explicitly says, I am the way and the truth and the life. No man comes to the Father except through me. He didn't say I'm one of many ways. I point you to the life and I can bring you to the Father among many. He goes, no, I am the truth, the life. Now, even from an Islamic perspective, no prophet can say he's the truth, the life, because Islam recognizes those titles as belonging only to the God of Islam, which they believe is the God of Abraham. So for Jesus to say he's the truth, he just claimed to be more than a man from an Islamic perspective.
You realize, Sam, that these words were written 500 years even before the Quran. And what's amazing is that Muslims have at least the original words of the Quran, because as they were spoken by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the companions wrote them and memorized them at the spot. But the words you are claiming to be of Jesus are a translation of a translation of a translation of the words which were written about 50 years after Jesus. So how do you know he used the definite articles in the sentence when Jesus did not speak English? And you don't have the original words in Aramaic, which is the language Jesus spoke. You are telling us Muslims the meaning of the words of the Quran may have changed over time, even when the words are original. And then what is your proof for Jesus is God? The words of Bible, which are 500 years older than the Quran. The probability that the meanings of these words have changed over time is much greater. And they are not even the original words of Jesus. And on top of that, they have passed through multiple layers of translations. How does that work? So Sam, your teacher William Campbell taught you how to avoid chronological fallacy, but he did not teach you how to apply standards across the board. No wonder he got slaughtered in a debate with Sheikh Zakir Naik. This is what happens when you're not consistent in your standards. Thank you so much, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and spread the message.